Welcome back, everybody. This is the thejonnymar, and I'm continuing with the adventures of Marasar in Daggerfall. So in my last episode, we finished exploring the starter dungeon, which is Privateer's Hold. We got up to level 2, and we picked up quite a bit of loot. Then we exited out of the dungeon, and we found our first town to stay in, which is Gothway Garden. So in this episode, we're going to explore Gothway Garden. Now, our first order of business is to check out some of the amenities in this particular town. So notice these blue buildings here. Those are guilds or places of interest, perhaps temples. And so we want to explore those. And then orange buildings are typically shops. But they can also be other things like banks. Yes, this game does have banking in it, and I'll talk more about that in a little while when we get to the bank. But we're going to head over here to the west first, and we're going to check out this guild hall, which turns out to be the Mages Guild. So if you are a magically inclined character, this is going to be a place that you want to come to often. Now, Marasar is not a magically inclined character, so unfortunately he is not going to be able to join the guild, because he does not have a very strong magical ability in his repertoire. But if you do, you can join, and there are various services that the Mages Guild can give you. So they can create spells, which is a very broken ability in this game. You can create very powerful spells that cost very little. And especially if you understand the spell system in this game, these allow you to exploit a lot of aspects of this game. You can also buy magical items, but unfortunately those are reserved for members. Now, even though a lot of the services are reserved for members, there are a few that you can do even if you're not a member. Specifically, you can just buy pre-made spells. Now, a few of these spells are actually worthwhile, potentially. The first is Open, so this allows you to open up locked doors. The second is going to be Recall, which is a teleport spell that is very, very important in this game. Even if you're not magically inclined, you might want to get that spell. And then a heal spell. Because again, it's hard to heal in this game unless you have magic or potions, and potions are pretty rare. And then we have a magical smith in here, hammering away on his anvil, and he can actually make magical items. But again, only if you are a member of the Mages Guild. Look at all those potions on the wall. You would think that they would not do that, considering people could just grab them. But again, it's just background stuff. So now we're going to head down to the south because we want to unload all of our loot that we picked up in the first dungeon of the game, Privateer's Hold. We found a little cemetery here. So we got some graves. Here lies somebody. I don't know who. Couldn't read that. And then people are just walking across the water here. This darker color on the ground here is actually supposed to be water. And if it's a large enough area, you'll actually drop into the water and have to swim across using fatigue. And there's a horse and some big gnarly trees. And then we are looking for these various shops. Now, one thing you may find yourself doing a lot in this game once you come back from going through a dungeon, and here's a statue of someone playing an instrument. Nice. And there's a shop right here. All right. And this is actually the bank, it looks like. Is that you're going to spend a lot of your time going around from shop to shop to find the best prices for selling your different equipment. At least if you want the best price possible. So this is the Bank of Daggerfall. So in this game you can do banking, and that is important because gold does have weight in the game. So you can't carry unlimited gold. And you can actually take out loans and use that money to buy stuff, and then you'll have to pay it back with interest over time. Now, what might you want to buy? Well, there are houses in this game, and they are very expensive, as you'll notice. So, various sized houses. The larger the house, generally, the more expensive it's going to be. This one costs almost 1,000,000 gold. And then if you're in a port town, you can actually buy a ship. So that's pretty cool. some cool little side things you can do with your money in this game if you find yourself in possession of a lot of money. Which is one of the things that tends to, run out of in later Elder Scrolls games, is once you hit the end game of a playthrough and you have tons and tons of gold, you don't really have anything to spend it on. Alright, so we have a little general store kind of area here. All three of these buildings are general stores. Now, this little building is actually the best when it comes to prices. So general stores will buy weapons and various other items, and they will do it at a particular percentage of the overall value of the items. And generally, the higher the quality of the general store, the worse the percentage they will offer you. So even though this place is very tiny compared to the other ones, it's going to give us the most money on our return here. So we got almost 1,000 gold for all of those weapons. And then if you want to buy items, you need to go over to the shelves and check them out. Now, a very important item in this game is not a horse, but actually a cart. This significantly increases the amount of space that you have to carry items. And so it's a very small pittance in order to pick one up, and then you can now carry a lot more equipment when you do dungeon exploring. And you also may want to check out the rest of the equipment and see if there's anything worthwhile. But for me, that's all I wanted to do. Alright, so I saved, and now we're going to explore a few more of the temples in town, as well as this building here, which I believe is the Fighters Guild. Now, as a full disclosure, I had originally planned on having Marasar join the Fighters Guild. Not necessarily because he's the fightery type, but more so because essentially I wanted to be able to use the services of the Fighters Guild and also rest in the Fighters Guild. So in this game, you cannot rest unless you are in an inn that you paid for a room, or you are in a guild and you're in the guild hall, or a temple, I suppose. So this random building here in the middle of nowhere is the Fighters Guild. So you walk up to the leader here and you can join. Now we could join, but what I found in my test runs is that if I joined a guild in this town for some reason, basically the game would not allow me to save and would crash every time. Hello there. Yeah, I would like some training from you. I'm not sure why it's coming up with your dialogue box. It's supposed to say, I only offer services to members. But yeah, something about this Fighters Guild seems buggy. Because every time I join in my test runs, and I tried to save, the game would crash and not let me save. So we're going to put that off for now. Maybe Marasar will join a Fighters Guild in a different town. But for now, we're going to skip the Fighters Guild here in Gothway Garden. So next up, we're going to explore another temple that's to the west of the Fighters Guild. And all of the temples kind of have this pretty distinct look to them on the outside. So they have kind of this interesting architecture and coloring of this building here to the right. And they also have a sign outside telling you which temple is the patron of this particular, hello there, group of people. So this is the Temple of Kinnereth. And we could join Kinnereth if we wanted to. Interestingly enough, if you ask about where the Temple of Kinnereth is, this person does not seem to know. You'll find that to the north of here. Are you sure about that? I guess technically it's north here, slightly. But she's taking it a little bit too literally. We have some dancers, we have some services here that you can get even if you're not a member. And then this room in here oftentimes has naked ladies, and so we are not going to go in there because I do not want to have to censor that. Good old YouTube does not like nudity, even if it's heavily pixelated from a very old game. So the last place we want to go in this town is this last temple up in the northeast corner. So we're going to head over there, make the trek across town, You're going to notice that these towns are pretty massive and take a long time to go across. This isn't Skyrim, where you can go across town in about 30 seconds. No. You're going to have to do a couple of minutes at least of walking to get across town. So here we have the water areas again, and people are just walking across. It's very easy to walk on top of water, as long as the water is not very large. Or if there are little bodies of water, like platforms in the water, the game will not drop you into the water either. We have some cows there, that's nice. And then just all these random citizens walking around. So you'll notice that Gothway Garden is actually pretty large, and yet it's considered one of the smaller towns in this game. So most of the towns are going to be incredibly massive. Now in terms of what's available, all of it is pretty much the same over and over again. Lots of stores, lots of just random buildings. And then if it's a much larger township or a city, then there may be, if it's a capital, a castle. But here we have another temple. And this is the Temple of Zenithar, or as they call it in this game, the Temple of Zen. Now this is actually a decent guild to potentially join, because if you join this guild and rise up the ranks a little bit... Hello, Zenithar. That's a statue of Zenithar wearing his pattern. You can actually gain access to potion making and buying potions. Which again, it's not very easy or common in this game to be able to find potions, and also how to buy them or how to create them. So that is something to consider, and Marasar will also consider that in the future. But we've done enough exploring, and so now Marasar wants to get used to his skills that are more on the other side of the law. So we have a large house here across from us. I don't think this house is affiliated with anything. And so let us explore that house and see if we can break into it and find some valuables. So we'll see if the door is locked here. I don't think it was. So this house was apparently open. The person who owns this house does not mind us being in here. So let's explore a little bit. That's a pretty nice house. We have some chests down here, some dressers, nothing in them. They have a nice fireplace. Lots of beds, which is good. That's one of the things that annoys me about a lot of games, is that they'll have houses with very few beds. It's like, where are the people supposed to sleep? Didn't really take that into consideration. Oh, we have a ladder going up to a crawl space in the attic. Can we climb that ladder? Let's see. No. Bethesda does not do ladders. What is this room? Did you really need to build this room? Come on. Such a tiny room. I don't know. Maybe there was supposed to be a crawl space in there or something. A lot of the rooms in this house basically are just empty with nothing in them. Oh well. Oh. Hello there. Don't mind me. I was just looking for something. I was looking for the Temple of Zenithar. Or Zen, as they call it in this game. Yeah, it's north of here. You're right. You have a very nice house here. I was surprised that the door was open. You must be very trusting. So I'm going to be on my way then. Don't mind me. And you have a good day, okay? Yeah, we can't pick her pocket. So Marasar's a little disillusioned with this experience. He wanted to find some valuables, but he wasn't able to. And he also wasn't able to pick her pocket. So he's just going to go out and see if he can find some people to try to steal from. And he's not going to succeed, even though stealing is one of his primary abilities. Nope, it did not work. And, oh no, there's some guards. Hi guards. Yeah, we're not gonna halt. We're just gonna run. No, we're not gonna do that. If you're being chased by guards, you cannot fast travel using the map system. So you need to get away from the guards to be able to do that. Or you can use a recall spell. That works as well. Unlike Arena, if you head into a building or out of a building, if that's where you first met the guards, it does not reset the guards. So they will continue to come after you and chase you into buildings. But we failed at picking pockets. So now we're going to try to find a different place to go to. And we'll try again in the future. So we're going to go to Daggerfall, which is the capital of Daggerfall. And you'll notice that the traveling system has different ways of traveling. Now generally it's best to do it cautiously. You'll go a little bit slower, but when you show up at the location you traveled to, it'll be daytime typically. Ooh, and some pretty awesome music here in Daggerfall. If you travel recklessly, you'll actually arrive quicker, but you'll typically arrive at night, and you will not necessarily regain all of your health. So it's 6 o'clock in the morning here in Daggerfall. Alright, so let's explore Daggerfall a little bit. We have a pretty ominous red sky, but we still have a lot of equipment to sell. General stores may or may not buy armor. Typically you have to find specialty general stores and or smiths to buy the armor in this game. So our number one goal here in Daggerfall is to find someone who will buy all of our armor that we picked up in Privateer's Hold. So let's try this tiny little shop right here. And it's a similar shopkeeper to the one we sold all of our weapons to. And yeah, he does not buy armor. Well, maybe he has something of interest. Let's see. Well, he has a dwarven short sword. That is very nice, but if you remember, I forbid myself from using dwarven equipment. Ooh, a torch. Let's buy that. Why can't I buy it? What's going on here? Oh, I'm on info. That's why. Okay. Anything else of value? We could buy another cart, but we don't need to. And what in the world? Why are you selling this red loincloth and these straps? What kind of establishment is this? Well, you are selling some nicer weapons here. A silver dye katana is pretty awesome. And a bow. Well, we're gonna stick with what we have already, and we're just gonna get out of here because this may be a fetish shop. Alright, so let's check out a few more places and see if we can find one that will buy our armor, so we can get rid of some of our encumbrance. So we have the red sun in the distance beating down on us. Just people walking around. Because we want to do stuff here, we're not going to try to pick their pockets and fail, most likely. When you do fail at pickpocketing, it does increase your skill a little bit. So that is ultimately something we can do to make ourselves a little bit better at pickpocketing. Alright, this looks like an interesting shop. Let's check it out. And it's not open yet. Now I could try to break in, but we just want to wait until it's open so we can sell to the shopkeep. So we're going to loiter for a little while until the shop opens. The maximum amount of time you can loiter is 3 hours. The game will not let you loiter for longer than that. If you try, it'll say, nope, you're going to die of boredom. Apparently. Alright, so yes, this person will buy our armor. Pretty sweet. So we're going to get rid of all that. And we're just going to sell it. I don't care what he offers us, even if it's a lowball offer. Because I don't want to have to run around to all the different shops and spend a bunch of time trying to maximize my profits. I do that in my test runs, and basically try to find the shops that have the best prices so that I don't have to do that on screen. Alright, so what else should we do here in Daggerfall? Now we want to wait till nighttime because there's something that happens at nighttime that I want to show off. But in the meantime, while we're waiting, let's explore and find some other places. So we're going to need an inn to sleep. And then maybe we'll head over to the castle and check in on the rulers of the Daggerfall region, because that will be something important to do later in the game once we start the main quest. I believe the first part of the main quest is actually locked behind a level cap, so you have to be at least level 3, I think, to get the first letter of the main quest. And we are currently at level 2. Oh, the frame rate in here is kinda bad. Are you the innkeeper? No, you're not. Usually the innkeeper is a larger man holding a mug. Oh, this frame rate. Well, we're gonna grab a room in here, and then we're just gonna get out of here so we can get back to a semblance of a normal frame rate, such as it is for a game like this. But thank you for the room. We're just going to head over to the castle and maybe check in with the people there, because we are not yet at level 3, so we're not going to be able to start the main quest. And then after we check in with the castle, we're going to maybe do some quests for the guilds around here to get our levels up to level 3, so that then we can start the first part of the main quest. Alright. Ooh, we have some pigs. Nice. Just animals hanging out around town outside. There's the castle slowly drawing itself in the distance. And it has a moat around it that is not bothering these people. They're just walking right on top of it. But in my next episode, we'll explore the castle. As always, viewers, thank you for the continued support. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see y'all next time. So long. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please press like and leave a comment below. Please also subscribe to my channel and press the notification bell. See you next time.